Welcome everyone to our first webinar for 2025. And I'm glad I decided to start the year with AI updates because, it's been a really wild ride over the last few days. So as we saw at 2024, there were so many updates coming in through OpenAI in terms of ChatGPT, and they released Sora, and even Google had some updates as well with Gemini. And so I thought I'll focus on those. And then last week, then OpenAI came out with their first agent that can actually do complete tasks on the internet according to your instructions. So there was that. And then today, what happens over the weekend, we have DeepSeek, who's completely disrupted everything. So I've added those in as well. So I thought I will go through and show you some of the updates so far. And there's updates happening as I speak. I just know it. So I'll capture some of them and we'll go and actually have a play and have a look at what they look like as a user. I'll start from the beginning. I am not an AI developer. I'm more a user and I'm more an educator to try and teach people how to get the best out of AI through using it. Particularly my field is marketing and communication, but of course AI can be used for so many different things. So let's begin. In today's session, I'm going to share with you some of the updates, and clearly because we don't have hours, and I don't know about you, but I spend hours on AI trying different things, and we can't do that, unfortunately. But what we can do is I'll give you a little sample of what these are like, and then you can actually go back and have a play for yourself and experiment on your own time. So we'll do a few demos as well and just learn how some of these tools can benefit your business. So we'll begin with this new player, DeepSeek. We'll move on to ChatGPT updates, and there's been quite a few of those. I'm only going to talk about the ones that have been released. There was one that was talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is a pretty big development in AI. However, we don't have access to that yet. It's not public yet, but I will mention that. And then we'll go through these items with ChatGPT. We'll have a play with Sora, the AI video generation tool that we waited so long for, and it's been very fun to play with. So we'll have a look at that. And then Google Deep Research, which is, they came out with that at the end of last year, and or you could have a play with it. They gave you a little test, a little trial, but then they made you pay for it. So and unless you're like already a Google user, they changed their access and things like that, I think at the end of last week around that, if you're already a subscriber. But I subscribe to that, so I'll show you what it can do. I did, after playing with Google Deep Research, I decided that I was willing to actually pay for it because it saves me a lot of time and is very comprehensive. And then there'll be some time for Q&A at the end. So DeepSeek has completely disrupted things. So if you haven't heard of DeepSeek, it's all over the news at the moment. It became available over the weekend. It's open source, which means you can access it for free and anyone can access it. Developers are using it and trying out with their sort of applications and things now, when they were traditionally using ChatGPT. The big news around this AI tool is that it was using older technology that, compared to the big players in the United States, it's from China. And it is, as I said, open source, so freely shares its code. They created it with where it uses less power and it can do so much more, and they did it for a much lower cost than what the big players in the US. It's completely blown everything out of the water, and there'll be lots of news items about this to come. And people are adopting it at a great rate. And I'm preparing for my ticker news segment tomorrow, where one of the stories I'm going to talk about is that the big players in the US are actively trying to hack into this open source model so that they can try and work out and what it's doing and how it's doing it, because it did it at a fraction of the cost, where the amount of money and the need for power as well around these technologies has been absolutely exorbitant. But this new technology has managed to do it really effectively and efficiently. So I thought, rather than me talk about it, because I could forever, let's go and have a look at DeepSeek. So you can see from the beginning, it has a really nice interface here. It's very similar to ChatGPT when you actually get into it, and you can just click in. So you do need to sign up. So I just signed up using Google, but And as we go in, you can see here it's got the logo here, new chat. There's not a lot of options yet. So as we will see in ChatGPT, you can do a lot more at this stage, but I think that they will develop, like this is the beginning. What I really liked about this is that I asked it straight up, how do you actually differ to ChatGPT? And then it stops. It takes a while for it to actually give you a response, and then it thought for 6 seconds, and then it tells you, it shows you what I know AI can't think because it's not a human, but it shows you that chain of thought, reasoning, and the steps it goes through to develop a response for you. So it's having this almost inner monologue where it's saying, okay, the user is asking how I differ. And then I let it know I was interested in marketing. And so it then is trying to put it into a context that I would better understand and what it can do. And so then you can see reasoning here. And then it goes down into giving me examples, what I can do, what ChatGPT can do compared to what I can do. So it's saying that ChatGPT is broad and generalist. I'm prioritize executable steps for your niche. So being very specific, and it's compared ChatGPT. So it's just saying in everything, it's so much better than ChatGPT. Now, down the bottom here, you can search the web when you want to, or when it thinks it should. And then this is DeepSeek, so it solves reasoning problems. So it goes a bit more deeper into its analysis. You can upload documents as well. I asked it to actually generate an image because in ChatGPT it's integrated with DALL-E, and so you can actually create an image. Can't do anything like that, but it actually refers you to DALL-E, which is quite interesting. You could get the app on your phone there, and it is. I have had some struggles with it today because I think everyone's on there trying to use it. It's taken a little while, so you can see here I kept asking it the same thing, and it would just bomb. So let's have a look and let's ask it something. How can I help you today? Maybe we'll try its search functionality. Explain how DeepSeek has disrupted the AI industry. Now, normally, as you will see later in the session, my prompts are much more, they have a lot more context to them. They're more descriptive. And you can see here, it doesn't really say. It's very limited. So I think this isn't a great experiment, but it can do a lot more. Why don't I ask DeepSeek and see if that actually changes what the answer is. And so here we go. With DeepSeek, then it goes through this chain of thought reasoning with you and explains, my cutoff is July 2024. So let's see what it comes back with anyway. So it takes a while to go through that, which is good because it's reflecting and refining, but it's almost having this conversation with itself. And it's still going. There we go. And now it's going to go through more of a detailed response. So I think using DeepSeek is the way to go to get more than of a detailed answer out of it, which is really good. So it's worth having to play with it. But again, with any AI, be very careful about the data or information that you're giving to it. So making sure there's nothing private or anything going in there. And that's with any, I'm not just saying it because this is a Chinese tool and there's all of that sort of rhetoric around data and everything, particularly around things like TikTok. You would just be mindful and cautious with any AI tool that you use. All right, let's DeepSeek. Please feel free to have a play with that. I will pop the link into the chat for you and pop that here so that you can have a play for yourself. So let's move now to the other big development that happened last week. There's been 2025 has been marked or earmarked as the year of agentic AI. So this is where the AI itself, you give it an instruction and then it goes off and performs a series of tasks for you. Whereas at the moment, we are using AI where we tell it to do a task, it goes off and does one task. But this is almost like a series of tasks that it can actually do for you. And there's been other tools. So I think Google's had a go at it, and I think Anthropic has as well. And now also Perplexity has come up with it because they're all racing to the finish line of AGI. But OpenAI came out with this on Friday. And unfortunately, in Australia, it's not available to us yet. But I'll take you onto their website and show you an example of what it can do. So basically, what it does is it processes screenshots on your computer to understand what the tasks that you want it to complete. And then it can do things, as you can see, it can fill in forms, manage emails, and it can dynamically adapt to things as they happen. And as in a small business, what you could use it to do is actually automate the repetitive tasks, whether it's like data entry or you're getting it to go and do research or navigating websites. Some people are using it to say, look at reviews or on their websites or go through data and things like that's in their web-based systems to analyze that and do it really quickly to save people having to do that manually. With that in mind, let's go and have a look at this new tool. And so what if you lived in the US, you're a subscriber to ChatGPT, you could just click on that and have access. However, in Australia, I checked just before this, we don't have it yet, so hopefully soon. And so I'll scroll down because it shows you all of the sort of the chain of process that it goes through. So it does this sort of perception through screenshots, reasoning as it analyzes and takes action on what you want it to do. But there's some examples here. Accessing Cambridge Dictionary Plus section. This is one in around where I'll go back to this, where it says, how much refund should I expect from my order cancelled in February? So rather than trawling the website, it will actually go through that for you. So then it goes onto the website and clicks. It does all the clicking for you. Goes through all the orders. So it's doing just manual tasks that we do every day, but it's actually doing them automatically based on your instructions. So it finds what it needs to, and then it comes back with the answer. So it looks really clunky the way that I'm doing it here, but you can imagine in real time, because this is just a series of screenshots as to what it's actually doing. It goes through every single action that you would do automatically. So that's exciting when you think about what that can mean in terms of time efficiency, but also people who need that assistance with using the computer, because the AI can actually do it for them. In a sort of accessibility context, it will be super, super helpful. So you could do so many different things with this. So we'll move on from that now. And hopefully by the next webinar, I'll be able to play with that. Now, let's move on to the ChatGPT update. So a lot of these happened before Christmas, so forgive me if you already know about these. But so OpenAI did this 12 days of Christmas where they, I was going to say unleashed, which is the most AI word ever. They released all of these updates just before Christmas. And so one of the big ones was this O1 reasoning model, which they already had a preview available to subscribers, but now it's actually available to the full version's available to subscribers, which is really cool. And we'll look at that. There's also ChatGPT search. So that was available where you can search the web when you're actually doing your prompts, but there's searches now as well. And then there's advanced voice mode, which is really helpful. So we'll look at all of that. And what this means is that with the O1 reasoning model. It's faster, and so the decision-making time is less. It can go deeper with its analysis, and so the responses are better. So if you want it to analyze some data or things like that, it can actually do a really good job, and it's accurate. You still need to check though, of course. And things like with the web search, we'll have a look at that. But the sources are pretty good. It's bit different to Perplexity. And then with enhanced multitasking capabilities. So this is with the advanced voice mode, and we'll have a little experiment with that. What I wanted to say is also in previous weeks, OpenAI wrote a paper and released that their O3 model. So they've got O1, which is deep reasoning. They couldn't actually use O2 as a name because apparently it's some sort of copyright issue with something else. So they've gone to O3. And the big sort of hoo-ha around this was that there is a test that everyone's racing to get to this point of AGI, where AI actually surpasses human intelligence, and it can do things like work on its own, improve on its own, learn on its own, those sorts of things. And so people are worried and excited about that phase. And there's a test called the ARC AGI test, and it actually outperforms their O3 model, outperformed a human on this test. And so everyone was so excited saying, it's AGI, it's here. And yes, it's very impressive and exciting that it's reaching that stage, but it was also asked to do just other more simple tasks, and it couldn't do them. It's not consistent yet. So there were lots of people coming out saying AGI is here, and it's really not. But on that particular task, it performs at an AGI level. So let's just say that. So let's have a look. I thought what I'd do is I'll show you where this O1 reasoning model is in ChatGPT. And I thought what we would do is actually put in a prompt and see what it comes back with. So we've got small business use case is we'll plan a marketing campaign, and you can also use it for things like customer workflows. You can ask it more sort of detailed questions to get a more detailed answer. It's really helpful with that. So what I'll do is, here is the prompt. I'm pretending I'm a florist in Coolum Beach, and I'm looking for a campaign, to develop a campaign to promote Valentine's Day, which is just coming up. So I might see if it'll let me copy that and pop it in. So now in ChatGPT, you can pick the model you want to use by going here. So 0.40 is pretty good for general things, and everyone's can have access that now. Now this is new as well. So this is scheduled tasks. I won't go off on a tangent here, but you can get it to actually remind you to do certain things, which is, I haven't played with that much yet, but we'll get there. But O1 is here. Now with O1, it cannot search the internet, but you can upload images to it, but you can't actually upload to yeah, there's certain things you can't upload to it. And then there's tools as well. So Canvas is where the prompt goes on the left, and then you can see what's happening on the right. So anyway, let's see if we can put this in. Yes. All right. So here is my prompt. I've just popped it in there. So basically I'm asking for a campaign targeting all of these age ranges. So men buying romantic gifts for women, for men, and then I'm sure we could do every which way as well. Last minute shoppers of any gender, and then the time frame and everything. So let's pop that in. And it takes a little more time than the other models because it's actually crafting that strategy. And so it's given here ideas of the product to actually sell to each one, which is pretty helpful. And then messaging for each of the target audiences. Now you tweak that a bit according to your brand, of course, but the fact that there's already something here that you can work with is super, super helpful. Then you've got your email campaign, hashtags, ideas for in-store decor, and the sensory experience, and then the whole timeline about what to do when. So I've said starting today, if I owned a florist. And it's really the speed with that. Like, and of course, the more information you give it, the better and closer it can come to giving you what you want. But it is a bit more accurate than using the other models, like the 4.0 model. So that's just a little play with the reasoning model. It does also, it does actually, I don't think it can, it's not connected or integrated with DALL-E, so it can't actually, you can't develop images and things like that like you can in 4.0. So there's that to remember as well. And why this actually matters if you're a small business owner is that it's more comprehensive. And so there's less back and forth. You tend to give it a really good prompt with a lot of context and tell it what you want to do and how you want it. And then it just goes off and you tweak it a little bit. But often with other AI tools, you're going back and forth because it just can't seem to get it right as quickly as this. And it's, as I said, it's a time saving, more precise, and you can actually, it's much more customized to what you want it to actually use it for. Now let's move on to search. So in ChatGPT now, in 4.0, it's search. And so this is helpful because as AI models are trained on older data, so it's not like in real time. So if you need current information, you can actually get that now here. The other great thing with search is that they've got a search in here of all your prompts. I don't know about you, but I'm the messiest. They've now got also, as an aside, they've got projects. So you can actually, thank goodness, organize your prompts, but I've only just started to do that. But here now you can actually search for your previous prompts. If I was looking at, oh, I don't know, I'm sure I've asked for a recipe in the past, and it goes through everything to find you. So here we got, now it's got like all the food related things that I've searched for. Super helpful. And then in here, so why don't we ask it that same question I asked over at DeepSeek? So how has DeepSeek disrupted the AI industry? And we'll see using their search what it comes back with. And so it comes back with pretty good sources. So you've got here the Financial Times, Marketing Business Insider. And these are all current sources. These are all from today, which is really helpful. So if we click on the Australian, you can't get in because there's a paywall, but let's go back. There's Time Magazine. Let's have a look. So it's actually training and accessing pretty credible sources, which is good. It's not just scraping the internet for people's blogs and things like that. So that's search. Super helpful. But again, you should always still check the sources because sometimes it will send you to a dead end. So don't just see that there and go, oh, that must be a good source. Always check. So we've looked at search. Next, advanced voice mode. Now, hopefully this will actually work. If not, I'll do it on my phone. So it works on it used to only work on the app, but now it can actually, you can do it through your desktop version of ChatGPT. So for voice, it's just here. So you click it. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you. How can I help today?
Can you please tell me how to write a media release?
Certainly. Writing a media release involves a few key steps. One is the headline. Make it catchy and concise, summarizing the main news. Opening paragraph. Answer the who, what, when, where, and why of your news. Body. Provide details, quotes, and any additional context, or background information. Boilerplate. Include a short paragraph about your company or organization. Contact information. Provide details for media inquiries. Would you like more detailed guidance on any of these steps?
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll end it there. Now, you can see here now the chat is actually here, and then it's all summarized there. And then you could always get it to write it for you, but it's on the app. You can actually share your camera as well and say, what is this plant? And then it'll actually analyze the image and tell you what it is. It's pretty helpful. And I know some people actually use the app version of this in the car. They don't look at it, but they brainstorm on the way to somewhere or ask to learn about something. And I think this is also accessible through Siri to some degree with the new update as well. Yeah, voice mode. So that's super interesting. I've used it a little bit. However, I remember one day I used it and I was at home and then I was talking to the AI and then I said something to my cat and then it was asking me questions about the cat. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's a bit weird. It just, I don't know if they've eased it up, but at first it was almost like someone who just wanted to talk to you all the time and you had to go, hang on, look, give me a break. Yeah, but really helpful in some of the responses and quick answers that you can get. But you should always, when you do something like that, ask it where it's getting its information to, again, to check those sources. Now, Sora. Sora, OpenAI gave us a little glimpse of this, I think early last year, and then we were just waiting and waiting for this tool. And now it is here for subscribers of OpenAI, of ChatGPT. Subscribers get it. And whether I'm at the $20 level or the $200 level, you have unlimited access. But the $20 level, there are some parameters around it. But let's have a look at Sora. And it's getting faster as well because now this is when you first go in and all of these images are AI images. They've all been created from AI. And so it's similar to ChatGPT where you write in your prompt. Now down here, you can actually upload an image or a video and get it to work with that, to change it. You can put presets in there as well to pick what you would prefer and the style, the dimensions there. You can make the resolution higher or lower, the length, so you can do 5 or 10. I think if you have like the $200 a month subscription, you can go for longer there. And then you can ask it to create 2 videos as an example. And then you've also got this storyboard where you can create a new storyboard, but in storyboard, what you can do is start to actually put together a sequence of your videos, which is really cool. And then you can download them all together. So what I thought I would do, just to have a little experiment, is going back to that Valentine's Day promotion. Let's use this prompt. I have to remember to put that C in. We'll go back in and see what it actually comes back with. So let's make it 16:9, 5 seconds, and we'll just do 2 versions because it still takes a little while to render and make happen. So let's create the video. Now, while it's doing that, let me go back to the prompt so we can see how close it actually gets. So the prompt here, create a 10-second, it's going to be 5, high definition video featuring a young couple exchanging a bouquet of vibrant red roses in a romantic outdoor setting. The couple should be smiling and dressed in casual. So you can see the amount of detail that you really need to put in. You can talk about the shots you want. So focus on a close-up of the bouquet with rose petals gently falling in slow motion around them. So yeah, you can see there it's a very detailed, this prompt. So let's see how close it gets. Now, I've played with this a fair bit. I had a workshop coming up and I decided to use Sora to create some video, and it was a bit hit and miss. I asked for things like a woman working on her laptop, and she looked very real and it was great. But then this random arm just started floating through the air. It's not perfect, but let's just see what it's come back with. Okay, I think it should be maybe in here. All videos. It's a little slow because, as you can imagine, it's video. Also taking a little while. All right, what we might do is while that's going, we might move on, just not just looking at an empty screen, and we'll come back to it. And so my other thing I wanted to share with you is Google Deep Research. So I was very impressed with this. What it can do is you can give it a topic and then it will go off on the internet and gather sources, analyze those sources, and come back with a detailed, comprehensive report based on that topic and list all the sources as well. You can ask it to only, I did this the other day, we needed just a little literature review as an idea, not like the proper academic one, but just an idea of what's been done before, what are the gaps, things like that. And so I went to this tool and asked it to create a report only using peer-reviewed journal articles in this particular field about this particular topic. And then it came back within, I think, 3 minutes with a really good outline of that. So it's super helpful. You wouldn't use that in an academic article, but if you're new to a topic or just want a little bit of a taste of it or sample of the topic, it gives you a good sort of basic rundown of it. And as a small business case, why don't we say get it to research top marketing trends for 2025? This won't be highly academic, but it will be useful, hopefully. In Gemini, now this is the paid version. There is a free version where you can still do some pretty good things, but for this particular feature, this is a paid feature. It's 1.5 Pro with deep research. And you can give it, upload things for contextual information as well. Or can you? No. Sorry, you cannot do that. It just goes off and searches and comes back. What I've done before is I've got it to actually create these reports, and then I've put it into one of the models where you can upload and then get it to compare and come up with things based on its analysis of multiple reports, which is really cool. But anyway, let's say compile a list of a report of the top marketing trends for 2025. And so what it does, it reviews your prompt, and then it will then lay out the steps it's going to use. So it's plotting out, it's going to find articles, find information and data, and then analyze the results, create a report ready in a few minutes. And so if you're happy with that, you can always edit the plan and get it to do something else or start the research. So let's do that. And meanwhile, let's go back and check on Sora to see. Oh, she's nearly there. Oh, here we go. All right. So let's have a look. I don't know. I think, I think she might have the right number of fingers. So that's the first option. Then you can try, and this is the other option. Very similar. And so that's all just AI generated just from your prompts. I think that's pretty amazing, particularly if you don't have the money to create videos all the time with real people, but you still have to be careful that they're not, as I said, there's no arms floating through or they've got extra fingers or things like that. So let's go back now to Gemini. And so it's still analyzing here, but you can see it's gone to 50 websites. How long would it take you to do that yourself, to actually go through and scour websites and bring back all of that information? It will take forever. So it's still analyzing. So we'll come back to that as well. So we'll move on with the presentation, and then that can be the final hurrah. I'm mindful of your time. And so to recap everything that we've covered before we go back to Google Gemini, deep research, DeepSeek a go. It's not perfect yet, but the fact that it's quite interesting that it can do what it can do with such efficiency in terms of cost. So it's free. You just have to sign up with your email. And yeah, like the actual analysis of it and deep reasoning is really good. The only issue is a lot of people on there trying to use it, and so it's not 100% consistent and reliable as yet in terms of getting what you need. Definitely something to play with. And ChatGPT, it's getting better all the time, although we'll have to wait and see what happens. And Sora is pretty good. It's fun to play with. You can get stuck on it for hours, just tweaking things and trying to do different things on there. But the fact that you can now create video at your fingertips is pretty cool. And then deep research. So that takes about 5 minutes, but just to show you when it comes back the detail and all of those sources, it can save so much time. And it means you can give it a prompt and then go away and do something else and come back and then you've got a report there. You're not taking a couple of days to do that. I always recommend experimenting with AI and doing it very mindfully and safely. As I said, not giving it any private information or anything like that, and just making sure that what you're putting out, like what I find a lot when I'm generating images and things like that, it's very biased. It will automatically put in, if I'm putting people in the image, it's always the same sorts of people in the image. So remember to work on your prompts so things can be a bit more inclusive as well and representative of our world. I just want to let you know that if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, or if you want to have a chat about AI or how you can implement it in your business, I'm always available for a 30-minute chat. Feel free to do that. There are my contact details, and this is like my booking link, so you can always book in a time. On the 11th, this is one of my most popular workshops, is designing with Canva, and I'm running it again because I've been asked to do it again. So it's on the 11th of Feb from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we go through, we start slow, and then by the end, you will have mastered all the AI tools and everything like that. So it's a really fun workshop and you'll learn a lot. It's very hands-on and it's online, very hands-on. And yeah, I always get really great feedback for that, because I don't know, everyone's using, I know a lot of people are using Canva, everyone's at different stages and everyone knows different things. And so we get together and we teach each other really, and we go in with a real intention in mind about what we want to get out of it, so we can actually create content while we're in the workshop. So that's an option. And then next month, my AI webinar will be around how you can use AI to build authority in your niche. So important in building your brand. And so I'll teach you some really concrete ways on how to use AI to do this that is authentic to you. So it still sounds like you, it shows that you're behind everything that you're creating, but it's just much more efficient because you're using AI to do it. It's ready. But so what it's done is given me all of those, and then you've got here the report here, and it goes right through to Google Docs, which is also really cool. So let me just open it quickly in Google Docs. So this is the report it just did. So what, that took 5 minutes. I've scoured 50 websites, and it came through with this. So top marketing trends, evolution of customer data, regulations and policies, AI marketing. It's got examples there as well, AI agents. So that's how many pages? That's 11 pages. So I won't go through all 11 pages, but it's really comprehensive. And then at the end, it consolidates everything into a table for you. So if you just want the snapshot, and then it gives you all the sources. So I don't know, I find that really amazing in how comprehensive it can be and how quickly it can actually do things. And so that ends the webinar for this month. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me too. It wasn't meant to go this long, but so many things happened over the last few days that I just had to include them in this presentation. I think I'll wrap it up there. Thank you for joining, and hopefully I will see you next month. Thank you.